What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here. Set 11 is going live on PBE today. It is already going to be live by the time I post this video, so if you want to get your feet dipped into Set 11, play some of the units that I got to play in the playtest, play, you know, the new augments, the new everything encounters, blah, 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 then yeah, just hop on your PBE account and queue it up. I'll be doing some viewer lobbies later today, but I wanted to bring you this VOD review, so I had a video out today, so the YouTube onlys can have something to watch. This is another game from my playtest. People say that I can put it a little slower, but like low key, like I can just pause if I really want to. Like high key, I just like kind of blitzing through everything, because I don't know, it's chill. One thing I will say is we hovered over the exalted units because we saw that we have this Janna pair here. And exalted is a really cool synergy that they added in this set. It's unlike anything they've ever really done before, where exalted is the same every game, but the units that are in exalted change every game. So, you know, as you can see here, Janna is an exalted, I think, and this is what Janna looks like if you don't know. And then this unit here is Yorick. 2-cost Yorick. I believe he's also exalted here. And you know, if I go into the next game, those units very likely will not be exalted. You know, some other units will be exalted. So it's kind of like very wild. Actually, it's pretty cool though. I like it a lot. But right now we're just playing around this mythic board. We talked about this in one of our earlier videos. You know, it's just like guild basically buffs up your entire team based on the units that you have in. They give different stats. But I believe maybe it's next round I'll end up actually hitting exalted and saying, you know what, I'm going to pivot into this exalted synergy. You can see me hovering over it there. And yeah, this unit, this time Garen is an exalted unit, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I actually think a while for this. I'm like, maybe I can just win streak with this current board that I have. But then I was like, yeah, you know what, F it. Like, I'm going to pivot into exalted here. I already have the 2-star behemoth in a Malphite, though I do accidentally put the Janna on the front line. And I also sent the spark on this Yorick. Yorick has an interesting ability where you see he sucks 2 people and increases his own max HP, similar to like Swain in set 9, I believe that was. I think it was set 9 Swain, where, you know, he would increase his max HP, and the idea is he casts a bunch of times, gets his max HP up a ton, and then he is just sort of like unkillable by the end of the fights. And I thought the Ionic Spark would, you know, help augment the magic damage, throw Crown Guard on him. He's going to do even more magic damage, though I think that didn't actually augment the HP that he gains. I think that either doesn't scale with anything, or maybe it scales with HP or something, because it was a green number, but I don't really know how to read tooltips. I'm going to be real with you guys. But still, this guy is a beast. And you can see this little weird thing, that exalted soul core on my bench. You see I sell that immediately. It gives you 2 XP every time you sell it. So it's kind of like an Econ trait, exalted, where every single round you get that 2 XP soul core, and then you can sell that whenever you want to. As long as you're not like looking to reroll, you basically just want to sell it every round and push levels as soon as you can. If you're thinking of like rerolling, you can always hold the XP that you want in the soul core and then eventually sell that later, so that, you know, you say you can roll on level 4 if you really want to. I have to slam the red buff here just because it's a good item, and I think it should be pretty decent on Janna. When she ults, she shields an ally and then hits 2 other units. So she's always going to be hitting 2 units with her ability, which is like not a bad number of units to hit with a red buff, especially early game. You know, I'm red buffing a bunch of these early game like frontliners here, though it is kind of scary when I look at this board. They got that big Hail, they got a 2-star Riven on their board. This is a pretty tough board to beat, though Janna, I mean, does do a lot of work shielding up the Yorick, giving him some more time. She does her best there. But yeah, once again, we pop the soul core, and it's 2 gold essentially every single round. Though I mean, it's a little bit worse than gold because you can't use it to make interest, but still, it's gold every single round. We pick up Tristana here as another exalted, but I realize it's pretty unlikely that I'll actually get to 5 exalted here, just because of the fact that I need a 4-cost, but, you know, might as well try for it, right? Keep the opportunity open, and hey, if we hit 5 exalted, then we will be really moving. And yeah, I mean, we fight a pretty strong board here as well. They have this 2-star Kindred. At least they don't have a lot of good items slammed, but yeah, I'm so hyped for actually playing it on PBE, because like I said, I didn't get to play that many games on the playtest. Oh yeah, Janna here, she does her best. She can shield herself, but this enemy, was that Aphelios there, ends up taking her out. Very sad, but you know, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm so hyped to actually like play PBE with all you guys, see how everything develops. I really like this the base set that they have here. I think they've done a really good job of having something that's relatively simple, very, very pretty, like aesthetically, and a lot of really enjoyable units. So I think this will be a good set. I'm very hyped for it. Still no more exalted units, but as you can see here, I am so far ahead economy-wise. I'm level 6 here, 50 gold with some more units on my bench. So you can just see how exalted sort of just sends your econ so far forward. I'm going to slam a gunblade here. I experimented a bit playing around Irelia with this setup with like a red buff gunblade, almost like a Renata Glask type setup where, you know, she uses her, well, you'll see. I don't know if we end up actually playing around Irelia this game, but she basically throws her ball like she does in Real League, and then that can hit a bunch of targets, apply red buff to all of them is the idea, at least. And I think with gunblade slammed here, I say, you know what? I'm just going to go for some kind of like stally type comp. I am just going to try to play Ascension here, and the other reason I actually really like Ascension in this position is because if I do end up playing Irelia, Irelia has a really interesting mechanic where on her third cast is empowered. She does a couple of casts and then her third cast is like really, really big. And so I'm thinking maybe I can get to, you know, buy some time with her first couple of casts and then third cast with Ascension, I can have her absolutely pop off. That's the idea, at least. I also get a Loon in here who is just an absolute beast. This unit is so insane. What I should have done is actually, it takes me forever to do this, but I should have put a Loon all the way on the back row and then put Janna next to her, because a Loon does buff the units on the same row, but I want to put Janna in these Umbral hexes, but it doesn't really make sense to put her in the hexes because it just gives a shield, and shielding this Janna doesn't really make any sense. So I should probably have a Loon where the Janna is, and then Janna right next to a Loon so that she's getting the buff. I mean, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, this Umbral synergy, I've talked about it a little bit, but it's a pretty cool synergy where it gives all your units in the hexes shields, and then your Umbral units right now, that is my Loon and my Yorick, can execute. It's, I think, 12% HP. If they get people 12% HP, they will execute, which is really, really strong. And a Loon was so strong on the playtest that, yeah, I mean, it was quite wild. Item-wise here, I think I end up just, I was thinking I wanted probably like a guard breaker, but I can't actually pick that up here. So I just take cloak here, and I'm thinking like a gargoyle probably. I also get another Loon, which is really nice. Diana's actually a unit that fits pretty well into some late game boards when you're playing around Sages, because Sage, by the way, is like the new strategist is what it was called, where it buffs your units to your front 2 rows with something, and buffs your unit and your back 2 rows with something. So back 2 rows get AP, front 2 rows get Omnivamp, and so Sage is a really, really nice synergy just to get in late game, buff your entire team up, and it fits in really, really well with something like a Diana plus like a Wukong late game. He's a Sage, so yeah, it's a very easy synergy to add here. I end up getting her in right now just for Dragon Lord, which is another nice little synergy to get in here. I talked about it in my video, but it's basically new Tempest, where after 8 seconds in combat, there's a dragon and it strikes the board. You'll see it here. Hurts the enemy team, does a % of their max HP, and then buffs your entire team's attack speed. So pretty nice here. You'll see that, yeah, when the entire board is highlighted, that's that dragon striking the board, giving your team attack speed and dealing a % of the enemy team's HP. So a really, really nice, just once again, solid splash synergy. Put a couple units in, hit the entire enemy board for a little bit, buff your entire team for a little bit. It's very nice. And I mean, you can definitely go more vertical 3, 4, 5 Dragon Lord and then really, really get good value out of it. But yeah, I mean, look at my economy here. I'm almost pre-leveled to level 8 here. I know we're in Crab Rave, so obviously, you know, I have more econ than I normally would, but this is kind of an insane amount of econ. I pick up Yorick 2 here, which is really nice. Also get this Shen, who's going to be another behemoth. I start to roll a little bit, and I immediately find Irelia. And I say, wait a second, maybe I can just play around an Irelia carry in this position. Try to get Story Weaver in here to buff up Irelia, but I'm a little bit too slow. But these items actually do really, really well on Irelia. I'm going to go Gunblade, Red Buff, Guard Breaker, and I don't know if I've talked about Irelia in any of my videos, but you can see these are her blades weaving around the board. It's basically, those are not an ability. That is her auto attack. All of her auto attacks are in the form of these little blades. The more attack speed you get, the more the blades move around. And then when she casts, she does like she does a bunch of blades, and they hit the It's either closest or like lowest HP targets. But with this smooth weaving auto attack pattern, it's really, really easy to proc stuff like red buff because she's going from one unit to another. I believe it works on stuff like guard breaker as well, where she's like hitting a target a bunch of little times. So if she hits a shield, she's absolutely going to buff all of these extra auto attacks. So I feel like this build on her has to be really, really, really solid. You can see here, I mean, I do end up fighting some relatively strong boards, so I'm not able to beat everyone, but still, I mean, look at that damage from her. 8k damage from just an Irelia 1 with 3 items, and this is a pretty bad board, honestly. I'm just looking to like sort of like push levels here, but I mean, yeah, my board is very, very cheap compared to how strong it actually could be. I go for the extra attack speed here off of this talisman. Probably should just be shred here to get the armor shred, but I don't know. I mean, this isn't terrible. I already have a lot of attack speed from little buddies, which, by the way, I ended up picking up just because I'm playing around 5 costs, I'm playing around 4 costs. I can get in a lot of cheap, solid units with the fact that I want to play Story Weaver anyway, so I feel like it just makes a good amount of sense. But yeah, I mean, I have my 3-item Irelia here. I'd love to get an Irelia off carousel, but that is a bit wishful thinking, so it's much more likely that I'm just going to go 9 and play around 5 costs, pick up a cloak here so that I can make my even shroud. So now I get that tread, so not the end of the world that I didn't make it earlier, and I can just put that onto Ornn, who's a fantastic tank, especially if I could get Dryad in for him, which is the trait that I've talked about before, where you get scaling HP across the entire game. So, you know, for every unit you kill, you get a little bit more HP for all your Dryad units. Sadly, I haven't had that in since the early game, so I would have to start stacking up pretty late. But I mean, you know, better late than never, I guess. But yeah, I mean, look at the work that this York unit does. By the way, he does so much. Like, how much did he do in there? I mean, 1600. Okay, that's not that much, but I mean, it's not nothing. In any case, I'm just looking to push 9 at this point, tap around some more 5 costs. I'm playing this 4 behemoth board for now. That could potentially come out later, depending on what I hit. I got this Riven here, who is a solid altruist unit, which is a synergy that buffs your entire team's armor and MR. So it's pretty nice, just like splash trait as well. Just a nice trait to get in late game that buffs, once again, your entire team. So you're pushing levels, you're pushing 9, you're doing a lot of work. Look at that Irelia. It's so cool how her ability looks. It's one of the coolest 5 costs I think they've ever made in terms of just like what her ability looks like and what it does. Also, I don't know why, but this I keep putting Zyra in over Sivir in this playtest, but Sivir actually buffs the adjacent unit's attack speed when she casts. I feel like she's much better than Zyra. I mean, Zyra harms, she wounds the target, which is not nothing. I do end up finally picking up Azir, who's actually a really, really nice in here because he is Invoker and Dryad on this board, so he can be a really, really nice 5 cost. I probably should roll here, but I think for whatever reason, I'm like, I'll just like wait 1 round or something. I don't think fast 10 makes any sense. So yeah, I probably should roll like relatively deep here, try to find my 2-star 4 cost front lines, try to find like Irelia 2 and stuff. But for whatever reason, I think maybe I was a little bit slow, ran out of time, and I was like, oh, I can't roll, but like I definitely should have because I need to hit my board. Pick up a Hui here, which I don't know if there's actually a good way to get in. I'm thinking about getting this Morgana in because she's ghostly. I pick up a bunch of pairs in my 5 costs here. Lysandra, like, look how many 5 cost pairs I have here. I'm rolling it down. I pick up Lysandra 2, and I pick up Azir 2 just in the nick of time. Lysandra's just an insane unit, as I've talked about. I have to imagine she will be nerfed once you guys see her on PBE, or at least once it goes live, because she farms so many components. I mean, this is a 0-item Lysandra, and look, she's still farming a component, which gave me Story Weaver emblem, which allows me to potentially cut some of these worse off Story Weaver units I don't really care about, like the Riven, and I can get something else in. So like what? Like, I just got that for free basically. But yeah, I mean, at this point I just need to roll down. I'm just giga dizzy because it's playtest. I don't know what any of these units are. I'm like losing my mind trying to figure out like what units am I holding, what am I selling, and I still am just playing around this 1-star 5 cost carry, taking a lot of damage, honestly. But look, another item farmed, 0-item Lysandra. Like, I don't know, there was something wrong. There was something wrong with that unit, and I am like, ooh, I could fit Lux in. That could be Arcanist and Porcelain. That could be pretty cool. This is Lysandra 2, so I just opt to pick that up. I did have this duplicated the entire time, by the way, but I just kind of wanted to find, I really wanted to roll down, like, you know, the idea is that you find the 2 stars that you can hit, and then you know, put everything else in. I'm thinking about getting Recon in, but I think I realized that it's just too weird to get in here. But yeah, now that I found most of my 2-star 5 costs, I have to duplicate the Irelia, and now I have basically my final board here. I can probably get out of, I mean, I could get out of this this Yorick here. I think I'm supposed to get out of Yorick and put the items onto a better tank, though he is kind of nice. But I mean, look at how much, that's Lysandra farming gold, by the way, because I killed units without items on them, I guess. Look at how much gold she farmed. I mean, at this point, she's a Lysandra too, but still, man. At this point, I'm so rich that, yeah, I'll definitely spend some gold for a component anvil. I get the Lux in here, which is Arcanist for my entire team. It's Porcelain for my Lysandra, which is really cool. Pick up the Alloon 2-star, who's just a fantastic unit, so you gotta play that. I can TG my Wukong, which is really cool. I make this swap last second, which is definitely not it. I definitely would prefer to have my my Umbral unit on the Umbral Hex, though. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say it's fine, but it's like not fine, but it kind of is fine. But like, this is bad. This is bad positioning. But at least I farm 2 more items here, by the way. At this point, I'm actually running out of units to put items on. Like, I could start putting these items on Azir, but like, am I really gonna Titans my Azir? Like, I can Titans, I don't know. Like, there's no one really to Titans at the. I can Titans Ornn here for like a little bit of tank stats, but still, it's not the best, I will say. We get also 2 components here because we're in Crab Rave. So I'm just sitting here like, well, like, I have too many items. Like, I wish I had less items, honestly, so that I could itemize everything. Also, 2 people lost to the crab, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I can't really go 10 at this point. I'm just going to roll down here, try to pick up some actual upgrades on this board. Do I opt? Yeah, I opt for Gargoyle here, and then I just go for GS onto the Azir. I mean, you know, decent items. And I think my idea here is I'm just going to hold on to these components. Lysandra's killing so many units, farming so many components that I can very likely farm like a decent bow item for my backline instead of having to make just like a stupid Titan's Resolve. And I do end up actually farming 2 components, though. Actually, 3 components. Yeah, I mean, this Slaughter unit is so insane, though it's not the best. I end up like I can make another red buff here, which seems pretty bad. I can make a second GS, which I think is what I opt to end up doing, but then still the rest of my items don't really make sense. I could go for like a Steadfast Heart here, which I think I do end up making on just the Zyra frontline, just to make something, and then I hold this bow for Lysandra. Like, it's, I don't know. It's, I just had 2. This Lysandra uniform, so many. I mean, I've said it a million times. We end up killing this player off, so it is a top 3. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we'd love to go level 10, but I'm a little broke and like very, very low HP, so it's probably going to be the end of the line for me soon. I look at this player though, and I think, okay, they don't look that strong. Maybe we can just beat them and like chill a little bit. I do like having the Zyra and the Umbral Hex just for a little bit more tankiness. The only scary thing is this guy is set to Udyr 2. At least their backline isn't that upgraded, so hopefully my backline can survive long enough and get through all of it, and it does. So they go down here. And now I'm looking at the ability to actually potentially push levels. Item-wise here, I have no... Oh, I take Heavenly Emblem here? Right, yeah. Because now I can level up, get another little body in here in this Malphite, and I can get 3 Heavenly in, which is really, really nice. So you just put this on anyone, put it on the Zyra, it's fine. And I opt to make the Renans here onto Lysandra because I just don't want to die. This guy is quite strong. I also swap my Irelia over to the right side at the last second because I don't want to get Kha'Zix, but they swap their Kha'Zix over at the last second. It ends up being kind of okay because Kha'Zix jumps to some of my weaker frontliners. I have some weak frontliners, so I end up beating this guy. Get a tier here, which I really wish I would have just not made this stupid Renans, then I could have made like an adaptive helm or a static Shiv Lysandra. That would have been a lot better, but I was afraid I was going to die. So I went for that, but now we have to fight the strongest guy in the lobby one more time, and now they have Xayah too, which is really, really scary. So I'm just hoping that my Irelia and my Azir can do enough damage by enough time with the front line to get through everything. This fight looks very, very solid. I think this is against Clone, right? Yeah, and we end up beating Clone, and it is a top 2, but I still have all these items. I'm just Archangeling Alloon, which is not bad. Maybe she'll, you know, like kill some people with the Umbral synergy, maybe, I mean, hopefully, and we're fighting the crab again. Oh, the other crazy thing is that the Lysandra unit just one-shots crab, which, like, I don't really know how intended that is, but she does. But yeah, at this point, all I can look for really is like an Udyr 2 to play. It's like a better frontliner. I end up getting a couple of sets, but I don't think they even really fit on the board. So I roll pretty deep, find like 0 Udyrs, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll just make some items for my Alloon here, do some quick swaps, go for Blue Bluff plus GS, get the insta-cast here, which is pretty nice. Wait, did it not cast on their board? Oh, maybe it didn't, I just didn't see. In any case, their board has gotten a lot stronger since we fought them. So I go down here, and it is a second for me. So very, very fun game. Sorry for the VLC ending thing. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check my Twitch. I will be live later tonight doing viewer lobbies, in-houses, all kind of stuff, playing PBE. So go give it a follow. I might already be live if you watch this a few hours after I post the video. And yeah, I'll see you guys there.